Much is that element at play when you have your guys going every day against Jordan and all the receivers that they have out there?
Yeah, I mean, we're fortunate enough to have a very, very talented group of wide receivers. So each day we've got to work hard at our fundamentals, hard on our technique, our eye control. They'll challenge you based on a lot of double moves. So it's great to be able to go against good guys every single rep, because they've got a lot of depth there. And we have a lot of depth at DB as well. So we enjoy, challenging each other day in and day out.
When you lose a senior, a guy who's been around for so long as Damari, who steps up from a vocal standpoint in the room?
Vocal standpoints? Yeah. Well, now we got Quez, which is the oldest guy right now. So he's been a very vocal leader right now. He's been here for some time, call him the old man now. But he's been filling that role pretty well. Brandon Hill also does a great job with everybody, keeping everybody on the straight and narrow. Eric Hallett's more of a guy that really leads by example, but he gets guys snapping to attention and ready to work. So.
Does it hurt to lose Khalil from corner to safety for you, or is what goes into that decision?
Well, I tell you what, our job is to get the best 4 guys on the field, so that's all we're trying to do. And we always try to stay truthful with guys, which we're recruiting them, letting them know they can possibly be a corner and or DB. We've had a lot of success of moving guys from corner to safety, and then them still being able to realize their dream, which is the next level. So they can see the proof is in the pudding. So it's not been a big challenge. The bottom line is we want to put the best guys on the field somehow.
What are things that you can push on guys like Quez, and like AJ, who've been around, but have to work behind guys like Jason, guys like Damari, and now they have experience and they're going to get a prime guys.
That's right. Well, I'll tell you what, Coach Nadeau does a great job, developing the culture here. So with that being said, they have a great opportunity to watch guys when they were younger guys and they understood and trusted the process and learn from the older guys, take coaching in, a little bit different techniques that they can talk to amongst each other about. And as they continue to grow, they can utilize those things as they mature as a player themselves. So we've been blessed to have a good culture of guys raising one another. We always talk about everybody creating ownership in the room. So those are the older guys should take ownership and leadership to be able to rise up the next guys that are coming up.
How have you seen AJ develop, from when he first got here to, over the last couple of years?
Very interesting. We just talked about that a few weeks ago. We pulled up actually his camp footage from when he came to camp back here before he was a senior. So we were able to compare where he is now compared to where he was coming out of high school or right before his senior year. So with that being said, his technique is a lot better. His change of direction is a lot better. He's getting out of all his breaks, and he's challenging guys right now. He's trying to get his hands on the ball. I think he's got roughly about 6-7 PBUs right now in spring ball out of 8-9 practices. So he's progressing really well.
I know a lot's happening between now and then, but with the ACC championship game, the kind of game the secondary had as a whole. How can a performance like that springboard you and give you confidence going into a whole new season?
Well, again, it really comes down to the players that you have in the room. And what we have in our room are guys that love the game of football. So it makes it a lot easier to be able to coach those guys because they're hungry to learn more. They're hungry to learn new fundamentals. They're hungry to learn more technique. From the last game. So we'll utilize that with a lot of teach tape, because we didn't have the best game right in the beginning. So we have some teach things in which that we've talked about, and they can utilize that to kind of keep enhancing their game.
What kind of motivator is it for guys to see pro day, see guys get ready for the draft, that next level? Like they're seeing teammates getting ready for that next level.
It's a great motivator based on even the same answer that I was saying within the culture. They get to see guys go through the process and then to see him come out here, and Damari come out here and perform the way that he did. And most of the guys understood who he was while he was here. So it really wasn't a surprise to a lot of guys. I think that they enjoyed and loved him being able to show what he can do, in which that they've been seeing for the last 4 years he was here, 4 or 5 years he was here. So I don't know if it was a shock, but I tell you what, they loved being able to watch him be able to do what he did.
Damari was, if everything goes as planned, this will be 4 or 5 years, the last 5 years in NFL drafts that Pitt has had a defensive back go in the draft. Pat told us that Damari is probably the best one that's come from you guys. Do you agree with that assessment?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm just a teacher. Okay, so with that being said, I think all those guys are pretty damn good, and everybody's got their strengths and weaknesses of each individual person. So with that being said, I love Damari. He's a pleasure to coach. But I also love JP. I also love Demar Hamlin. All right, and I also love everybody in which that has been drafted over these last few years. You know, they were Jordan Dane Jackson. You know, just with him the other day. I mean, I enjoyed coaching those guys. Really, because of what I was telling you about this core group right now. You know, all those guys love the game. They have a different level of respect for the football game.
Last year, Brandon and Eric, their safeties, you know, they had to kind of learn how to communicate together coming into a learning space. But now they have that full year of experience on the belt. What does it let you do as a coach when you're putting it all together in the secondary and saying, hey guys, we're doing this, we're taking it to another level this year?
Yeah, well, they're at the level right now where they can change up during the game like we did towards the end of the last season. You know, as soon as they got relaxed in there, but they understand all of the checks, they understand how to utilize the checks, and they had the ability to come on the sideline and say, Coach, they're doing this, that, and the other. What do you think about this? You know, so that's always good. So it broadens your menu, all right? But you always want to have a small menu with big understanding. With that being said, you can kind of expand a little bit. So now you can get a little bit of whipped cream on your sundae if you like that.
How are your younger guys doing? I know Pat has mentioned Riley a couple of times so far this camp.
Yeah, he's doing well. I don't want to tell him that yet. I guess I just did, but he's been doing really well right now. I'm very pleased where he is mentally as well as athletically as well. He's a challenged guy. He's a physical guy. You know. Yeah, but you know, so I love where he is right now. You know, going on practice, like I said, 9 right now, and where he is, he's looking like he's been here a year.
Is P.J. O'Brien learning how to thud?
P.J. O'Brien is learning how to keep his energy. All right, you know what I mean? The one thing about P.J., I don't know if you guys have talked to him yet, but he's a ball of energy. That guy comes there, he gets me going every day, gets every coach going, you know, and he's working on thud. You know, but it's always better to be able to tune him down as opposed to telling him to go hit. So I love his energy. PJ's a dynamic player, you know, that brings energy, and again, he keeps everybody up around him. You're not going to have a dark day with him. He's going to get you up.
Is there a sense of pride? Sorry. Is there a sense of pride when, like, you see your guys line up against Jordan, you know, top receiver in the country from last year, and like you're sitting there saying, like, if AJ's lining up against you, you're like, come on, like take him out on this rep. Like, what's that like, watching moments like that in practice, and then, you know, evaluating after, win or lose?
Mm-hmm. That's a tough question. You know, with that being said, you know, because we always talk about is a player with a number. You know, so we don't really look at it as far as this guy is this, that, and the other. With that being said, Jordan's a heck of a doggone wide receiver. So I enjoy watching them, them utilize the technique and fundamental really to perfection, and don't change up because of the history, if you will, of that particular player. So we go in there every game with that mindset all the time. So we're going to always respect our opponent. With that being said, we're never going to be in awe of that opponent. I don't know if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Archie, Pat told us that first thing he wanted to do with his contract was to take care of you guys. Mm-hmm. What's your reaction to him looking out for you guys and to the extension as well?
Well, I love him for that, and I love the city of Pittsburgh, so it's a blessing to be back here, so I'm excited and happy for my family, happy to be around all these other players another year, and it's just a blessing.